Welcome to this video on Entangled Histories, from Ancestral Legends to Genealogical Truths. This genealogical research project explores the complex connections between a personal family history and broader colonial narratives through the lens of Pocahontas, Thomas Rolfe, and the Bolling family lineage. Our research relies on documentary evidence, like the 1698 deed establishing Jane Rolfe as Thomas Rolfe's sole heir. We cross-reference data across digital platforms and incorporate Mattaponi oral traditions about Ka-Okee. This study shows genealogy involves both verifiable evidence and enduring myths. Family stories hinted at connections to Pocahontas and the Rolfe Bolling lineage. The research uncovered ties to Thomas Rolfe through cousin branches and revealed links to Powhatan and Ka-Okee through distant cousinships. Genealogy is a reckoning with entangled histories, where kinship is a web rather than a straight line of descent. The Pocahontas era began around 1595. Her son, Thomas Rolfe, lived between two worlds before returning to Virginia as a colonial lieutenant. His documented child, Jane Rolfe, married Robert Bolling, establishing the verified line of descent, which the Bolling legacy then carried forward through John Bolling. The family connection to the Rolfe-Bolling line is traced through collateral cousin relationships, extending kinship through colonial networks. These connections link the Bolling and Gay families, then the Gay and Marinus lineage, continuing into the present day. Family legends persist, including stories of extra wives and hidden children, as people seek belonging in Pocahontas' story. However, a 1698 deed provides the historical anchor by naming Jane Rolfe as the only daughter of Thomas Rolfe. The Mattaponi oral history of Ka-Okee preserves native memory outside colonial records. Genealogical platforms calculate relationships using differing algorithms, revealing varied results for distant kinship. For example, Jane Rolfe is identified differently across FamilySearch, MyHeritage, and Ancestry. These contradictions do not weaken claims, but highlight that kinship is complex, requiring interpretation beyond mere numbers. The Ancestry involves a duality: the colonial privilege of the Bollings and Randolphs, whose wealth was based on enslaved labor, and the Indigenous resilience represented by Powhatan blood. Facing this dual inheritance means inheriting the responsibility of seeing the past clearly and carrying stories forward with honesty. Key insights show genealogy involves balancing verifiable evidence with meaningful myth, recognizing kinship as complex networks rather than simple descent lines. Family research also demands holding pride and pain together, acknowledging both privilege and survival in emotional histories. Carrying forward these entangled histories requires combining documentary evidence, oral traditions, digital platforms, and ethical inheritance. We must honestly reckon with the past, honor its complexity, and carry it forward with care and responsibility, acknowledging the dual inheritance of colonial privilege and Indigenous resilience.